So I'm on a road trip right now, and I was thinking about, as I was leaving the area, why people are leaving the 757 and moving to places like Richmond, Virginia, Charlotte, North Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina, and Jacksonville, Florida. Is it just because they're military moves, or is there something going on in the 757 that you need to be made aware of before you relocate here, or if you already live here, so you can decide if it's time for you to get up on out of here? But here's what might surprise you. We're not just losing people to other states. The data shows that when Hampton Roads residents move, the top destinations are Richmond and DC, where nearly 8,000 people relocated to between 2015 and 2019. But the truth is, we're also losing families to North Carolina cities like Charlotte and Raleigh, and Florida metros like Jacksonville. But here's what's concerning for me. When I looked at the data, it's not just military families that are leaving. Recent surveys show that 25% of residents under 35 are unsure if they'll still be living in the Hampton Roads area in 5 years. So as someone who helps families move into and out of Hampton Roads, I think you need to know exactly what's driving people away from our beautiful 7 cities. So friends, today I'm counting down the 7 biggest reasons people are leaving the 757, and I am saving the number 1 reason for last because it might not be what you think it is. Now, I want to apologize in advance. If this is your first time connecting with me, normally my audio does not sound like this, but fortunately I had a loss in my family and I'm leaving a funeral, but I did not want to risk having a week without publishing a video. So we're going to take a road trip together. So buckle up. I'm already buckled in. We're going to talk about the 7 biggest reasons that people are leaving the 757. So let's get into it. Okay, so while I'm stopping to get some gas, I wanted to just talk to you about the 7th reason that people choose to leave Hampton Roads. It's because of the lack of vibrant downtown areas and entertainment options that appeal to young professionals and families who might be seeking an active social scene. Now, while we have pockets of activity in places like Norfolk's downtown, Old Town Portsmouth, Hampton Roads doesn't offer the concentrated entertainment districts that you'll find in cities like Richmond, Philly, Charlotte, or Raleigh. Now, many young professionals tell me that they feel like our region lacks the walkable urban energy where you can easily meet friends for dinner, catch live music, or enjoy a variety of nightlife options all in one area. Now, I will say Norfolk does offer this on a smaller scale, but Norfolk's a much smaller city than a city like maybe a Philadelphia, right? So this becomes especially noticeable for people who aren't connected to the military community. Without built-in social networks from base life, it can be challenging to find your tribe in Hampton Roads. The entertainment options tend to be spread across our 7 cities, which means you might drive to Norfolk for a concert at the Scope, Virginia Beach for the amphitheater or beach activities, and you might go to Portsmouth for that historic old town charm and some restaurants. But a lot of people complain that they don't feel like one single area offers everything. Now, for families with teenagers and young adults, this can be frustrating because we do have great family activities like beaches and parks, options for those 16 to 25-year-old age groups, and we know they are the challenging age groups. They're more limited compared to other cities of our size. The good news is that some of our cities are working on this. Norfolk continues to develop its downtown core, and Virginia Beach has been expanding entertainment options just beyond the ocean front. But friends, listen, don't get too frustrated and just leave the 757 because for now, many young professionals choose cities with more concentrated entertainment and social scenes. So let me ask you a question. Have you found it challenging to find entertainment options that match your lifestyle in Hampton Roads? If you have, let me know in the comments what you're specifically looking for. So have you been thinking about relocating to Hampton Roads, Virginia? I've got just the thing for you. My team and I have actually taken the time to create the ultimate relocation guide, which is meant to save you hours of research, and I've linked it down below. From top employers, the best hospitals, and a boatload of other things that you need to know before making the move to Hampton Roads. And the best part, guys, it is 100% free. That's right, you heard me, it's 100% free. So just click on the link in the description or the top pinned comment. I hope it helps. God bless you. Okay, so the 6th reason that families sometimes choose to leave Hampton Roads relates to educational considerations, and this varies significantly depending on where you live within our region and what your specific needs are for your family. Now, while Hampton Roads has some excellent schools, the quality varies dramatically between and within our 7 cities. Families often find themselves in situations where they love their neighborhood and they love their home, but they're just not satisfied with their assigned school options. In some cases, cases, this leads to expensive private school decisions or ultimately relocation to areas with more consistent public school quality. Now, for families with special needs children, resources and programs can be inconsistent across our region. Some cities offer excellent support while others may have limited options, forcing families to make difficult choices about where to live based solely on their educational services. Higher education opportunities, while present, may not match what families are seeking for their college-bound students. While we have respected institutions like Old Dominion University, William and Mary, and Norfolk State, students pursuing specialized programs sometimes need to look elsewhere, and families occasionally follow where their students go to college. Now, I recently worked with a military family who was stationed here for over 4 years. Their daughter thrived in the excellent schools near their first home, but when they needed to move to a different part of Hampton Roads due to a job change, the school options were not comparable. Seriously, they went from Virginia Beach to Portsmouth and they were very unhappy with the schools. Now, rather than compromise their daughter's education during her crucial high school years, they chose to relocate back to an area with more consistent school quality throughout the region. The challenge in Hampton Roads, friends, is that you really need to research school options carefully for your specific address, not just assume that living in a good city is going to guarantee a good school assignment. Again, every family has their unique needs. So let me ask you a question. What has been your experience with educational opportunities? Has the school system ever affected where you chose to live? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to be able to help you, and you'd probably be helping someone else by sharing your personal story. Okay, so the fifth reason that people choose to leave Hampton Roads involves concerns about healthcare access and affordability, particularly for specialized care and certain types of medical services. Now, while Hampton Roads has excellent medical facilities, including Centara, Riverside, and CHKD, families sometimes find that certain specialties require travel to Richmond, DC, or even further. I remember when my mom was alive, she was sick, and I was taking her all the way to North Carolina. This can be particularly challenging for families dealing with chronic conditions or rare medical needs that require regular specialist visits. So wait times for certain specialists can also be lengthy, and some residents find that they can get faster access to care in other metropolitan areas. For families with elderly patients or complex medical needs, this becomes a significant quality of life issue. Now, healthcare costs, including insurance premiums and out-of-pocket expenses, have been rising faster than wages in many sectors. Some families find that their healthcare expenses consume a larger portion of their budget here than they would in other regions, particularly if they're not connected to military healthcare benefits. Even though mental health services are improving, we still have gaps in coverage and availability nationwide, not just here in Hampton Roads. Families seeking therapy, counseling, or specialized mental health care services sometimes has to wait for waiting lists, or they have limited options, which can be really concerning for a parent who's trying to support their child or individual who's trying to manage their own mental health needs. Now, I worked with a family last year whose elderly father required specialized cardiac care. While Hampton Roads has good cardiac programs, his specific condition required a type of surgery that was only available in another area. And after making that drive month after month after month for treatments and follow-up care, they decided to relocate closer to those medical centers so that they could reduce the stress and the expenses of the constant traveling. Guys, you know who you are. If you're watching, I love you and I miss you, and I'm continuing to pray for you. The irony here is that Hampton Roads actually has some excellent healthcare facilities, but the gaps in certain specialties or the cost of accessing care can become deciding factors for families who are facing significant medical challenges. Now, friends, let me take a moment to say this. If you're finding this information helpful, please make sure to subscribe to my channel. I share updates about everything living in Hampton Roads every single Thursday. Guys, I appreciate you hanging out with me while I'm taking this road trip. It absolutely means the world to me. And to show you my appreciation, I want you to hashtag road trip in the comments, and I'm absolutely going to enter you to win a gift card next week. Now, the number 4 reason why people are choosing to leave Hampton Roads is because of the career advancement opportunities. Now, while Hampton Roads has a strong economy, it's heavily concentrated in specific sectors. For professionals in technology, finance, marketing, or other specialized fields, the career ladder can feel limited. Many tell me they feel like they've hit a ceiling in terms of advancement or salary potential. Young professionals especially feel this challenge from what I'm understanding. Recent surveys show that residents aged 20 to 34 are leaving Hampton Roads at higher rates than other age groups, often citing better opportunities in other markets. The other cities are offering more diverse economies with multiple companies in each industry, creating more opportunities for career mobility. The salary gap is real in many fields. A marketing manager might earn $65,000 in Hampton Roads, but $85,000 for similar work in Charlotte or Richmond. While cost of living differences offset some of that gap, the absolute dollar difference can be significant for those who are really focused on their career. Now, for military spouses, career challenges are particularly acute. Despite Hampton Roads being military friendly, many spouses still struggle to find meaningful career opportunities that can accommodate the unpredictability of military life. Some choose to relocate to areas with more remote work opportunities or stronger economies for a trailing spouse. One of my good friends, I helped them find a home in Chesapeake, and they want to relocate to Raleigh. Her husband works in cybersecurity, and he's been with the same company for several years. Now, despite his good performance, advancement opportunities were limited because the company only had one location here. So they're considering Raleigh in this triangle because there's multiple companies that are competing for his skills, and it gives him a clear path to senior management roles that simply don't exist right now in Hampton Roads. I'm gonna hate to lose my friends, but I want the absolute best for them. The good news is that the remote work situation has changed the game for a lot of people. People can now live in Hampton Roads while working for companies all over the world, enjoying our lower cost of living here and our amazing coastal lifestyle while earning salaries from higher wage markets. I don't know if you can relate to this at all, but have you had an experience where you kind of felt like you were suffering financially because of living in Hampton Roads? Or do you feel like you are earning the pay that you deserve while working here? Drop a comment below and let me know. So the third reason that people sometimes choose to leave Hampton Roads, it actually relates to crime and safety concerns. And I definitely want to talk with you guys about what the data actually shows, not what we might think the data shows. Now, it's true, Hampton Roads has seen some concerning crime statistics in recent years, though the trends are definitely improving. Now, in 2024, the overall region recorded 144 homicides across all 7 cities, and that's actually a 29% decrease from 2023, which shows positive progress. But these numbers still represent real families and real concerns for real Hampton Roads residents. Now, certain cities within Hampton Roads have higher crime rates than others. Hampton, for example, has a crime rate of 33 per 1,000 residents, which is higher than many comparable communities. However, it is important to understand that crime is often concentrated in specific neighborhoods rather than being evenly distributed across all 7 cities. Now, what I hear from clients isn't always about violent crime statistics. Often it's about property crimes, break-ins, or simply feeling unsafe in certain areas after dark. Some neighborhoods have seen increases in car break-ins and package theft, which affects daily quality of life even if they're not life-threatening crimes. Now, the perception of crime can be as influential as actual crime rates. Some families, particularly those who are moving from smaller towns or more rural areas, is going to find that the urban crime levels are concerning even when they're statistically manageable. But here's what's important for you guys to understand. Crime in Hampton Roads varies dramatically by location. Cities like Suffolk and Chesapeake generally have lower crime rates, while urban cores of Norfolk and Portsmouth may have higher rates in certain neighborhoods. The key is researching a specific area and not painting the entire region with just one paintbrush. Now, several of Hampton Roads cities have been invested in community policing, crime prevention programs, and neighborhood revitalization efforts. Many areas have active neighborhood watch groups and strong community involvement in safety initiatives. People aren't just leaving Hampton Roads for other Virginia locations either. They're often moving to what they perceive as safer suburban communities in like North Carolina, Tennessee, or sometimes even Florida, where they think that crime rates are lower and neighborhoods are often going to feel more secure. Now, I don't know about you, but I really kind of did the whole painting the entire area with my paintbrush, okay? When my husband wanted to move from Virginia Beach to Norfolk, I had a fit. I was like, I am not going to Norfolk. I left Philly. There is no way you're going to have me go into, more urban area. But to be honest, I actually love my community. I feel very safe in my neighborhood. I know my neighbors, it's kind. And so there are just certain parts of every city that you're just going to have to go and feel and see what feels right to you. There's certain parts of Suffolk that I would not move to, but there's other parts of Suffolk that I absolutely love. Same about Virginia Beach. A lot of people think that because it's Virginia Beach that there's no crime there. Well, y'all, that's a lie from the pit of hell. There is a lot of crime in Virginia Beach, but the crime is generally concentrated in specific areas. So when you're thinking about moving to Hampton Roads and you want to think about the crime, or you want to make sure that crime is something that's a part of your decision, go online, look at the crime maps, go to the state police records so that you can find out where you're planning to move from or move to is actually going to be safe for you and your family. And as always, you can reach out to me at 757-837-0096. I'd love to talk with you about what areas that I think are great areas. But of course, again, it's going to depend on you and your family needs and what you consider safe or not safe. Does that make sense? Believe it or not, the number 2 reason that people are leaving Hampton Roads are military transitions and reassignments. And this one is unavoidable, given that we're home to the world's largest naval base and multiple other military installations. Now, Hampton Roads sees constant population turnover due to military moves. With over 83,000 active duty personnel and more than 150,000 military family members, PCS moves significantly impact our population dynamics. Families typically spend 2 to 4 years here before receiving orders to their next duty station. Here's what I find interesting though. It's not just the expected military moves. Many military families who initially plan to retire and settle in Hampton Roads are changing their minds and choosing different locations for their post-military lives. Now, some are retiring and returning to their home states to be closer to their extended family. Others choose locations based on tax benefits, cost of living, or civilian job opportunities. States like Texas, Florida, and Tennessee attract military retirees with favorable tax structures and lower cost of living overall. For military families making retirement decisions, Hampton Roads competes with every place they've been stationed throughout their careers. A Navy family might have loved their time in San Diego, Norfolk, and Jacksonville, and then when retirement comes, they're choosing between all 3 based on factors like their grandchildren, the cost of living, and their lifestyle preferences. I have a client who was living in Northern Virginia, relocated to Hampton Roads, and then they were here for about 8 years, and they had maybe two or three duty assignments. They loved the area, and they always planned to retire here. But when it was time for them to retire, they actually relocated to Jacksonville and bought a gorgeous home in Jacksonville. And that's where their adult children had settled and where their grandchildren were. The pull of being near your grandchildren, trust me, is going to ultimately outweigh your attachment to Hampton Roads or any other city. Now, military decisions are deeply personal and often involve factors beyond just loving a location. Family proximity, healthcare access, cost of living, and civilian opportunities all are going to play a role in whether or not people leave Hampton Roads or not. Many of our most enthusiastic residents are military families who fell in love with the area during their assignment and choose to stay here. But the constant flow of departures due to military transitions definitely contribute to our population dynamics. Friends, if you're getting value from this information, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss future videos about Hampton Roads real estate and living. And if you have any questions about the cost of living here in Hampton Roads, just reach out 757-837-0096. If you are planning to stay in Hampton Roads or if you are exploring other options, I'd love for you to drop a comment below and let me know what's the determining factor on whether or not you're going to stay here or you're going to go ahead and get out of Dodge. So are y'all having fun on this road trip? Because now we're at the number 1 reason that people are leaving Hampton Roads, and that's the rising cost of living, particularly housing costs that have increased faster than local wages have been able to support. Now, here are the hard numbers, friends. Since 2020, home prices across Hampton Roads have increased by approximately 30 to 35%, depending on the city and the neighborhood. The current median home value is around $343,000, but in desirable areas of Virginia Beach or Chesapeake, that number is significantly higher. Rental costs have actually risen 20 to 25% over the past 3 years in Hampton Roads. Young professionals and military families on a fixed housing allowance are finding it increasingly difficult to afford housing in the neighborhoods that they prefer. Now, for military families, there's often a gap between their BAH, which is a basic allowance for housing, and actual market rent or mortgage payments. Now, while a BAH has increased, it hasn't kept pace with our rapid housing appreciation, creating financial strain for service members who may have been comfortable here just a few years ago. Now, I have a young military family that I'm looking for a home for right now. They've been renting in Norfolk for 3 years, and they've been saving for a house. Despite saving diligently, home prices are continuing to rise faster than their down payment fund, to be honest. And what they could have afforded in 2021, when we first started looking, is now $60,000 more expensive. And what we're ultimately looking to do is find a home in a different city than what they were looking in before, so that they can actually achieve their dream of home ownership. Property taxes and insurance costs have also increased. Homeowners insurance, particularly in flood-prone areas, has seen significant premium increases. Combined with rising property taxes to fund infrastructure improvements, the total cost of home ownership has grown substantially. But here's my biggest concern. If we price out the teachers, the firefighters, the nurses, and other essential workers who make our communities function, what happens to Hampton Roads long term? Guys, I think we risk becoming a place where only high income earners or military families with housing allowances can afford to live. I mean, am I tripping, or do you kind of feel the same way? But the good news is that recent months have shown signs of market stabilization. Home price appreciation has slowed a bit, and inventory is slowly increasing, which should actually help with our affordability over time. But for families feeling priced out right now, waiting for market corrections isn't going to be practical. You're going to be making a decision based on current conditions, and many people are choosing to relocate to markets where their dollars are going to stretch further. Either way, you're going to have a sacrifice. Let's have a conversation about what I can do to help you understand what's actually happening in the market so that you can buy or sell your home in Hampton Roads. All you have to do is get in touch with me. You can reach me at 757-837-0096. Don't let lack of affordability be a concern for you unless we've actually had the chance to have a conversation, okay? Okay, friends, so before you think I'm trying to convince everyone to leave Hampton Roads, let me share an important perspective on what's actually happening within our Hampton Roads population. Yes, people are leaving Hampton Roads. That's a fact. But here's what the data also shows. Hampton Roads remains one of the largest metropolitan areas in the United States, ranking in the top 15% nationwide with 1.8 million residents. We're still larger than cities like Milwaukee, Jacksonville, and Providence, Rhode Island. Now, between 2020 and 2024, Hampton Roads actually experienced a growth of 0.7%, maintaining a steady upward trajectory despite the challenges that I outlined in this video. Now, that growth might be slower than what we like, but listen, growth is still growth. Now, here's what I actually find interesting. Suffolk and Chesapeake are both still growing. Suffolk saw a 2.3% population increase, making it one of the fastest growing areas in Virginia, while Chesapeake grew by 0.6%. So while some cities in Hampton Roads are losing populations, others are attracting new residents. Now, check this out. The people who are leaving Hampton Roads aren't all going to other states. Many are relocating within Virginia to Richmond, to more rural areas, or just other parts of the state. Some are trading urban Hampton Roads living for suburban Hampton Roads communities, moving from Norfolk to Chesapeake or going from Portsmouth to Suffolk. So we're not losing everyone here in Hampton Roads. Now, another factor is that international migration is also bringing new residents to Hampton Roads. While we may be losing some domestic residents, we're gaining others from around the world, especially if they're military, who see opportunity and value in what our region happens to offer. Now, most importantly, for every person leaving Hampton Roads for the reasons that I outlined in this video, there's often someone else moving here for our military community, our amazing coastal lifestyle, our relative affordability compared to other coastal areas like Myrtle Beach or places in Florida, our amazing rich history, and just other areas just simply cannot match.
So the key is that understanding these challenges so that as a region, we can address them. If we can improve career opportunities, maintain housing affordability, continue reducing crime, and enhance our entertainment options, Hampton Roads can retain more of the residents who might otherwise leave while continuing to attract newcomers. Now, for those of you who are living in Hampton Roads right now, these challenges don't mean that you should just pack up and leave. That would be crazy. What the challenges mean is that we should be aware of what needs improvement, and we should work together as a community so that we can properly address these issues. Now, let me ask you a question, friends. What do you think that Hampton Roads should focus on so that we can retain more of our residents? What would make you more likely to stay here long term? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And here's the thing, if you're considering a move to or from Hampton Roads, remember that real estate decisions should definitely be based upon your specific situation. And you want to work with someone who understands both the challenges and the opportunities in our amazing market. So guys, if this video helps you understand what's happening in Hampton Roads, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe for more real estate insights about living in the 757.
Now, if you want to learn more about how home ownership is more than real estate, it's about creating generational wealth. It's about being a good steward. And most importantly, it's about God's promises. Make sure you check out my new book, Home Ownership God's Way. You can grab it on Amazon or just reach out to me directly. I'll get you a signed copy.
Now, I hope you really enjoyed this crazy road trip with me. I really appreciate the time. I apologize again for the audio. But guys, more than anything, thank you so much for your support of the channel. It absolutely means the world to me. You guys like, you guys comment, you guys share, you absolutely directly reach out. And I always want to encourage you, if you have a question about real estate, not just in Hampton Roads, but real estate nationwide, you can always just get in touch. My number is 757-837-0096. Shoot me a text. I promise you I'm going to respond. So thank you again for watching. I hope you have an absolutely amazing week, and I'll see you in the next video. God bless you.